What are you looking at? Okay.
The regular Board of Education of, the regular meeting of the Board of Education of the Perry Local School District is called to order at 5:45 in the PHS Media Center. Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley,
Here,
Mr. Leidig,
Here.
Mr. Roberts,
Here.
Mrs. Tretzker,
Here.
Mr. Welch. Here.
would please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag
The United States of America. To the republic. One nation under God, indivisible.
Thank you. Full house. Okay. Dr. Thompson, Superintendent Spotlight.
Thank you, Madam President. And you can see from our list, we have a large number of retirees that we will be saying so long to and will miss greatly. And so we have a number of folks that are going to say a few words in their behalf, and then they'll have a chance, if they so choose, to say a few words themselves. So getting it started right away, Dr. Malcheski.
Are we at the podium, or speak from our seats?
Unless you have something else planned. Yeah.
No touch. Solidly. Lisa, it is on behalf of Lisa Shields, just a pleasure to speak on her behalf. And I've practiced a couple times, all with tears. So I'm going to do this without tears. There's 4 words I use to describe Lisa in this moment. And the 4 are hope, stewardship, blessings, and sunshine. And for those of you who were closest with her, some of those words will resonate right away. Lisa Shields stepped into our district 11 years ago. 2 of those years, those initial years, she served 2 districts. She served Painesville City and Perry at the same time. And I think I can say we that work with you closely, Lisa, we saw your value immediately. I know I did. Lisa Shields understands special education law. She doesn't ever ask anyone to do something she's not willing to do herself. When a parent needs, or there's a community resource or service, there's Lisa meeting them, introducing them to the community resource for help. And when there's a family in need, I think we all know who's wrapping the presents, who's buying, who's shopping, who's delivering to that family in need. When you think of the time, talent, and treasure Lisa has given to our district and given to the families of this district, the word stewardship comes to mind. And that's the second word I use to describe Lisa. At one time or another, Lisa may have used the word blessings with you. And I noticed this here of late in her career. And blessings would be, any given day would be called a blessing. But when she says goodbye these days, she always says blessings. And I'll never forget that. When in fact, Lisa, you're the blessing. You have been the blessing to us. When I've asked people who work with you some words about you and your practice, this is what I got. The Eastside Special Education Directors, also named your therapy group, describe you as pure energy, knowledge, dedication, professionalism, and humor. And they said, thank God for the humor. A Perry preschool teacher describes you as seeing in her what she didn't see in herself. And she now gets to wake up, has a job where she sees children speak their very first words for the very first time. A veteran teacher in Perry describes you as compassionate, a friend, and leading by example because you understand the needs and the many hats worn by an intervention specialist. And I describe you as pure sunshine. And this is why. This girl not only emits sunshine in her daily work with us, but you're real. When we know you're down, you come to us, you let us know you're down. And that's the type of trust you instill in relationships. Lisa does love the sunshine, and I know this first-handedly though. In fact, Lisa, I brought you a rock, and it's now from my home to yours. You're giggling already because you know. It's from a place where the sun just may be the most beautiful sunsets in the entire world, and it's on the Aegean Sea in Greece. And notice, I didn't describe what you've done, all the boxes you've ticked in your careers, the programs you started. I could have done that, and we'd be here a lot longer. But I described how you treated people, for that's what I remember, and I think we will remember. And because of you, we carry with us those 4 things: hope, stewardship, blessings, and sunshine. So Lisa Shields, congratulations on your retirement. Your beautiful, precious family is here, and blessings to you all.
Lisa, on behalf of the Board of Education and the entire Prairie community, we'd just like to present this small token of our appreciation and hope you remember us. Thank you.
Esteemed board, I just want to thank you for all of the opportunities and everyone retiring. I wish you many, many blessings and thank you so much.
Mr. Porcello.
All right, the first teacher I get to talk about this evening is Mr. Greg Blakesmith. He served a total of 30 years here at Perry High School after spending a year and a half at Mentor. His subjects taught included science and social studies, and he was heavily involved in a lot of extracurriculars, including 9 years as a track coach, 9 years of softball, 7 of volleyball, 2 years of running NHS, which I never knew. I think he kept that from me, and 9 years of science Olympiad. The 3 words that I would use to describe Mr. Blakesmith are caring, consistent, and a great listener. Mr. Blakesmith has been a constant source of support and compassion for his students, creating a nurturing environment where they felt valued and understood. One of Mr. Blakesmith's defining characteristics is his genuine care for his students. He went above and beyond to ensure their well-being, both academically and emotionally. He took the time to get to know each student as an individual, learning about their interests, dreams, and challenges. He spent many hours after school working with students one-on-one or in small groups, helping them experience success, requiring them to put in the time to see the fruits of their labor. With a kind and empathetic approach, he offered a listening ear and a compassionate heart, providing comfort and guidance to students going through difficult times. His caring nature made a lasting impact on his students, instilling in them a sense of belonging and a belief in their own worth. We were just talking about a little bit ago, something popped into my mind. There was a student by the name of Jacob that went off at Bowling Green, wrote the most inspiring letter about an educator that he had dealt with. And to me, that really will always stand out, that specific letter, and Mr. Blakesmith going to the end with students to help them find that confidence in themselves. His consistency fostered an environment of trust and reliability, allowing students to thrive and develop their full potential. This student, Jacob, had reached his full potential with Mr. Blakesmith. As Mr. Blakesmith prepares to retire, his colleagues and students express their deep appreciation for his caring, consistent, and great listening qualities. They recall the moments when his compassion made a difference, when his consistent presence provided stability, and when his attentive listening fostered understanding and growth. He leaves a legacy as a caring educator who will forever be cherished, as his impact it has extended beyond the classroom and impacted people as they went off to college and beyond. One of his colleagues, Mr. Ryan Kitty, said, "I've always appreciated how Greg is able to come up with creative activities to engage students. Greg is a very thoughtful person when it comes to science education. He is an encouraging person to bounce ideas off of." Another former student said, "Mr. Blakesmith used humor and jokes and words of wisdom to get to know students. He always found a way to use creative projects and presentations while embedding the importance of collaboration, problem-solving skills. He went above and beyond to help with kids and spent many hours after school making sure they got to the finish line." Greg, I thank you for everything that you've meant to Perry Schools. I appreciate our time together and wish you the best in the coming years. Thank you.
Come on, Mr. Dixon. Small token of our appreciation. Thank you so much for your service, and if you would say a few words, feel free.
Words, I'm prepared.
Kids don't say that.
Bill Gray wasn't prepared either. He spoke for 20 minutes.
That's my goal. No, not at all. Thank you. It's different occupations, as you probably all know, that you change the world around. So my daughters often ask me, "Do you always want to become a teacher?" And the answer was no. But it was a perfect fit for my personality. So eventually when I found teaching, it's like, why do I want to do this? So it's perfect for families, it's perfect for what I wanted as a goal. And I thank you for the opportunity. So, thank you.
Ms. Priscilla, we're just gonna stay up there with you, right? Well, that is the order. Did you need a break?
No.
Okay.
It's good practice for Sunday.
No.
That's fine, I'm ready. All right, next is Mr. Bill Crow. He spent a total of 40 years here at Perry Schools. He taught science and health, and as far as coaching, he spent time as a middle school basketball coach for 10 years, middle school track for 5 years, and spent many winter seasons leading the intramural basketball. Also heavily involved in a marathon. Most recently started the outdoor club through a 21st century grant, and also was a sophomore class advisor, which I think he kept for me as well. What stands out about Mr. Crow, 3 words that I would use to describe him, is steady, high character, and a mentor for others. Mr. Crow is a cherished figure in the Perry community. He's reached the end of a long career as a distinguished teacher. He started his career in 1983 here at Perry. I was 2 years old. It's incredible when I try to think about 40 years in education and what that meant and the number of students that he would have interacted with and impacted. I estimate that he had 5,000 to 6,000 students that he interacted with here in Perry over the past 40 years. As he prepares to retire, many will reflect on the immense impact he had on their lives. Mr. Crow is known for his unwavering steadiness, high character approach to life, and his ability to be a shining example to all. Throughout his decades in the classroom, he exhibited a remarkable consistency that set him apart. I knew that I could always count on Bill to do whatever was assigned to him and handle the most difficult students. His steady presence brought a sense of stability to his students, offering them a safe and nurturing environment in which to learn and grow. No matter what was happening in the world outside, Mr. Crow's classroom was always a hub of knowledge and compassion, where the outdoors often lived indoors, literally. Mr. Crow's unwavering commitment to high character was evident in every aspect, and he was often somebody that I looked up to as a mentor. He held himself to the highest standard of integrity, honesty, and fairness. The one thing that I think really set him apart as an educator is his innovative and his hands-on experiences that he created, often taking students to the river, the watersheds, and to the lake to be involved in different environmental science and actually getting students to do environmental science instead of learning it in a textbook or through a lecture. He also made an effort to get to know each student as an individual, recognizing their strengths and weaknesses and unique circumstances that they may be dealing with in life. The connection he made with students through coaching, intramural basketball, marathon, and most recently the outdoor club made a major difference in the lives of our students. Most recently, through the outdoor club, he took several students on a walleye fishing charter. I don't think that there's many high schools throughout the state that are going at that level to get kids involved and connected with other students and positive role models. And Mr. Crow led the way with that. The legacy he leaves behind is one of steady dedication, high character, and being an amazing role model who found a way to engage students through the love of life and the outdoors. One of his colleagues, Mr. Ryan Kitty, said, Bill Crow has modeled patience and kindness to fellow staff members and students. As a science teacher, he has modeled creative ways to engage students with the natural world around them through a variety of activities. He listed outdoor club, trout in the classroom, as I talked about the outdoors, living indoors, growing food in the class, countless field trips to streams and places of environmental interest. He even found time to teach Mr. Kitty how to crossbow hunt this past deer season. Bill is an exceptional individual who cares deeply about his work and his family. He will be greatly missed. A former student of his said, Mr. Crow has always had the patience of a saint. He cares so much about the entire student as a whole and did more than just follow a curriculum or textbook by including projects and bringing outside presenters and engaging students through hands-on learning activities. Perry Schools will deeply miss Mr. Crow. Just a little bit of the time frame in those 40 years. I think he spent 10 years in the original building and the last 30 years here. And when you think back to some of the people that he has taught over those 40 years and some of our more prestigious alumni, the man has impacted so many. So thank you, Mr. Crow. We will miss you greatly and wish you the best in the coming years.
I'd just like to thank the board for the opportunity to work here. In administration, it's been a blessing. I've seen a lot of change, since I've been here, and it's all been good. And the main thing that I've noticed is Perry is a great place to live, great place to work. And it's a testament to the people in the community and just what they think about school and supporting us and what we do. And I want to thank my wife too. She's been supportive just in allowing me to do, the extracurricular things and that. And I just want to thank God because he's blessed me just with a great career. So thank you.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Miss Colleen Moskowitz, often referred to as Mosk. Years at Perry, 17 years at Perry, 16 years at Madison. She had come here mid-career to take over our TV production program and has a total of 33 years in education. Subjects taught include English/journalism at Madison, media production and photography here at Perry High School. Extracurricular activities included, you would often find her on the sidelines of any event with running media production, whether she's taking pictures, running our most recently added live streaming within the past decade, and also served as an AV coordinator. I believe she also spent time coaching track, right? Middle school track. What stands out are three words that I would use to describe Ms. Moskowitz are innovative, a pioneer, and creative. Throughout her time at Perry, she consistently sought new ways to engage her students and revolutionize the classroom experience, providing a quality hands-on experience that helps students bring video to life. Students sought and desired different types of education, and they certainly found that in their experience with Mosk. Ms. Moskowitz was never content with conventional methods. Instead, she was always out there looking for the next, latest, greatest thing, which I greatly respect and appreciate as somebody that enjoys that pioneering spirit as well. She has a love for innovation and always is looking on the horizon of what is next. She has a thirst for what can be and what she can learn and bring that to her students. She has a spirit of innovation that was evident in all the aspects of her teaching. She embraced the technology, never backed down, and was often a proponent for the future that our students were going to face with technology. Often being an advocate for the need of technology in the classroom and embracing the technology versus resisting it. By embracing the technology, she empowered her students to be active participants in the digital age, preparing them for challenges and opportunities of the modern world. Many students were inspired to pursue a career in marketing or video production from her influence and impact. For the past 17 years, she produced impressive and often tear-inducing senior videos that senior classes viewed on their last day of school in our Goodwin Theater. She was often at sporting events working with the live stream crew or taking photographs. If there was an event going on, oftentimes Mosk was present. The school community will forever be grateful for her trailblazing spirit. One of her colleagues, Mrs. Soder, shared with me that Colleen has exemplified creative and innovative thinking. She embodies someone who is willing to see the world in new and different ways. Colleen is quick to use her talents to better the world around her. Her generosity is clear to anyone who's ever had a camera issue, needed a photo taken, or tried to produce a video. She inspires her students to engage in future thinking and is open to discovering. Even though she is of retirement age, her youth is evident in her fashion, TikToks, snaps, and Instagram posts. She's always on the cutting edge and is the first to see the new movie, have the trendy shoes, and be sipping out of this year's must-have insulated mug. Colleen's spirit brings joy and humor. She never takes anything too seriously, including herself. She lives in the moment and sets an endless example of kindness. Colleen shares her playful creativity with her students and her colleagues, making Perry High School a better place. A former student who is now an administrator throughout Riverside Schools, who I had seen a really long post about what the impact that Miss Moskowitz had, and I think he gave her his first copy of his book that he wrote to Miss Moskowitz, said that she was a kid connector to me. She made me believe in myself, especially in reading. She made learning fun and knew how to connect with her students. She inspired me to go into education. Ladies and gentlemen, and Miss Moskowitz, I appreciate everything you've done for the Perry schools. Keep up the innovative spirit. In talking with her earlier today, she says she has signed up for a class in artificial intelligence, and that will be her next leg of her journey. So best of luck to her, and we wish you the best. Thank you.
all the time. Took pictures of our first date.
I'm not a big word person. I would make a video and show it to you if I knew I had to say something. Thank you.
All right, next up, Mr. Matt Rosati. He spent a total of 34 years in education, 18 at West G, and then made a transition to Perry 16 years ago. Subjects taught include modern world history, American history, contemporary world issue, and I believe he did dabble a little bit with American government at different times. As far as extracurricular activities, he was our varsity head coach for an extended period of time, girls basketball assistant, and coordinated our varsity club. Three words that I would use to describe Mr. Rosati are energetic, enthusiastic, and engagement. Mr. Rosati, a vibrant and energetic educator, has decided to retire after many years of inspiring and captivating students. Many students will fondly recall his energy, enthusiasm, and engaging teaching style. He has been a true beacon of passion and dedication throughout his career. He's the type of person that when you see him in the hall, it's always a positive approach to life. We're going to go get him today. We're going to, greeting every kid in the hallway. And that energetic approach was greatly appreciated. From the moment students stepped into Mr. Rosati's classroom, they were greeted by an infectious energy that sparked their curiosity and eagerness to learn. His vibrant approach and boundless enthusiasm created an atmosphere where students felt motivated and excited about education. He had a natural ability of storytelling history to make it come alive, infusing each lesson with creativity and sense of adventure. He understood that engagement went beyond simply delivering information. It meant fostering meaningful connections and igniting a passion for learning. His impact on students extends far beyond the classroom, as he spent many years impacting the lives of student athletes on the football field. He made teaching and coaching look fun, inspiring others to enter the field of education. I asked Mr. Rockwell to share some of his thoughts. He's worked with Mr. Rosati for many years on the athletic side. He wrote, during his tenure as the head football coach at Perry High School, the Pirates enjoyed unparalleled success under the direction and leadership of Matt Rosati. In 14 seasons, the Pirates had a record of 144, won 6 CBC championships, advanced to the Elite Eight, the regional Final Four times, and secured the school's first and only Final Four appearance in 2016. When Coach Rosati arrived in Perry in 2007, the football program was struggling through several consecutive average/subpar seasons. Through his persistence, leadership, and ability to work with all stakeholders, youth, middle school, etc., he was able to get Perry football back on track, paving the way to the greatest run of success the program has ever seen. The time and dedication he provided to Perry football will never be seen again. I also reached out to a former student by the name of Mark Arrigo. He wrote the following: he would walk across, in the classroom, he'd walk across chalkboards, climb up into the ceiling, stack desks and chairs while standing above us all. This may sound different, but it was genius. The attention he gained and the respect he gave us was given back by everyone in the class. Before you knew it, class was over. He genuinely cared about everyone and had a nickname for everyone in the class. I remember saying, I want to be just like him. I'm now in my 22nd year of teaching, and his methods are still genius. I still remember when he told me why he teaches this way. He said, Arcadius, if you think you're a little nuts, they will listen to every word you say. He was correct. Mark Rigo says, thank you for making an impact on me in my career. From Jeff Goodman, one of his colleagues, Matt is the epitome of an engaging teacher. He is so engaging that his stories about history would often blast through the thick concrete walls separating our rooms and begin to unknowingly engage the students sitting in my own classroom. I will miss Matt's professional camaraderie and his genuine love in caring for the overall well-being and success of all of his students. Matt has a huge heart for his students and will be greatly missed by the entire Perry School community. Matt, once again, thank you for everything you've done, both in the classroom and on the athletic field for our students. You will be greatly missed, and we wish you the best in the coming years.
Now, we expect this to be put up in your next place.
All right. All right, fair enough, fair enough. Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I really, it's very, very difficult to talk on this topic, but the one thing I will say is I thank you all for your professionalism. I thank you all for being cutting edge in everything we do. I thank you all for being first class all of the time. This is by far and away, I can't put into words how thankful I am we always put kids first. And that's the most important thing. And that's what I'm really so proud of, that we always put kids first. We all did. So old soldiers never die. They just fade away. Thank you very much.
Okay, Mr. Nyzen? Doesn't have more? Sure.
All right, as exciting as it is for us as a district, thinking, of August and September, I know many of you don't want to think about August and September. But when we welcome in a new crop of teachers, it's a very exciting and emotional time for us as a district. It's equally emotional when we get to this time of year, especially to see a group of teachers and staff that have put so much time and energy into, and really heart and soul into what they've done for such a long period of time. I wrote down, and I wrote this down while I was kind of listening to some of the, it's awe-inspiring to know the impact that you've had on kids across the board. And so just know that, while we're sad that you're leaving us, we're also excited for you and the future that the second chapter, if you will, that is ahead of you. I have two middle school teachers who are retiring that I have the pleasure to talk about tonight. The first is Mary Carlin, and Mary Christine Tomsani, got it? Was born and raised in the little town of Struthers, Ohio, which at the time was an important iron ore producing location for the giant steel mills of Youngstown. I did not know that. I knew that there were steel mills in Youngstown. I did not know that Struthers was known for its iron ore production. Mary stayed in Youngstown for her college education, attending Youngstown State University after graduating from Struthers High School. The potential of a teaching career brought her to Lake County in 1989, where she was hired by the Perry schools. Not only did Mary spend her career at Perry, but she and her husband John raised their family here and became a staple of our community. It only takes a few minutes of getting to know Mary, where you can see how proud she is of her Youngstown background. I frequently call numerous conversations in which we may have been talking about something and I was a little bit passionate, she was a little bit passionate, and she would look at me with this stern look and say, "Don't make me go Youngstown." I knew exactly what that meant. My wife is also from Youngstown, so I really do understand. Mary brings the gritty, work hard sensibility that she grew up with to her math instruction, and is able to get students to learn and do things that they thought they couldn't possibly do. Yet behind this, Mary also has a genuine heart for kids. She would frequently pop into my office where she would catch me walking in the hallway, or sometimes literally pop out of her room and grab me and pull me into her classroom to talk about her kids, to show me what they were doing, and then to advocate for students who she believed had great potential in math. And it was not an uncommon discussion to have with her. This kid is in my regular math class, and I really believe they should be accelerated. We need to push this kid and let's go for it. And so I always knew that Mary, with the work that she was doing and her passion for kids, that those kids were going to be successful. And in the end, that gritty, work hard, Youngstown mentality, she's got a giant heart for students. And so, Mary, you are going to be missed, but we're excited for you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. I will say a few words. I've always considered myself very, very blessed to work here with everyone here. I think we just hired the best of the best, which is why my kids came here and why we moved to the community. I think it was Dan Rayner who put up a bunch of signs in our hallways that said, "Lucky to be a Perry pirate." And I will tell you, there are a few less of those signs in our hallways now because I took a bunch of them and I hung them in my room, and I think I might even take them home with me because I've always felt very lucky to be a Perry pirate, and I thank everyone, especially the board, for the opportunity to work here. Thank you so much.
All right, Patty Bentley. Patty Bentley began her teaching career in the mentor schools, serving in a variety of roles from 1982 to 1997. She took some leave to raise her family before serving as, I did not know this, a children's librarian at the Morley Library, and then worked as an adjunct professor at Lake Erie College. Thankfully, in 2008, Perry scooped her up from the Lake County ESC, and she has served at Perry ever since. Patty has an insatiable curiosity. She brings this curiosity to the classroom. Arguably the most interesting teacher that I have ever had the pleasure of working beside. My first experience was with Patty came in the Goodwin Theater. I think this was my first year here. And we were at the high school. I just popped into the Goodwin Theater and Patty was on the projection screen broadcasting live from Antarctica. It was a video call broadcast. The entire middle school was in there and those kids sat glued to their seats, staring at what was happening. And I think part of that is you showed a video clip of yourself like cliff diving off of an iceberg into the ocean. Anyways, awesome stuff. Patty was part of a research team, for those of you that didn't know, in Antarctica and shared her experiences with the students. She also co-published a paper for the International Society of Performance Improvement called Sharing Antarctic Research in the Classroom: Authentic Outreach as a Means of Improving Student Performance. This was back in 2013. We flagged forward to 2023, and wouldn't you know, Patty is a key member of our Authentic Learning team at Perry Middle School. In addition to the great work that she has done in the classroom, Patty has also published children's stories in science magazines and has made it her mission to share her scientific curiosity with kids. Patty also co-directed our spring musicals for many years and brought many awesome Disney classics to life on stage, only just recently stepping aside. As a matter of fact, I believe that Patty, had she not become a teacher, could have had a successful career as a Disney Imagineer. Maybe second chapter, I don't know, you could do it. As Walt Disney once said, curiosity keeps leading us down new paths. Who knows where Patty's path might lead from here, but we wish her and we wish all of our retirees the best of luck on that next path. Patty Bentley.
I never forget you jumping on into that water. Congratulations.
Thanks to the board, appreciate it so much, all the inspirational people that I got to work with, best years of my life, thank you.
I speak at about half the speed of Mr. Corso, which is good because I got about
half the amount of words. So I'm speaking on behalf of, in celebrating Roxanne Prine. She's our front desk secretary at the elementary school. She's unfortunately can't be with us this evening, but we're celebrating her nonetheless because she's just been such a wonderful fixture these last few years at the elementary school. So I just wanted to thank and celebrate her. She blessed us with the last 4 years of her career with us, and we just did not simply get enough time with her. In her short time with us, she always demonstrated such a beautiful approach to children and to families. At the front desk face of the elementary school, she was welcoming with a kind voice, a genuine greeting, and a truly open heart. The homeschool connection is so important at the elementary level, but it's not always an easy one. The front desk secretary is typically the person that's first to hear when someone has lost, a student has lost a family member, or that mom and dad are now living in separate homes. That a loved one is sick, or that a student was involved in an accident, or the dad is coming home from overseas and will surprise the student with an office pickup. It's a tough role. As families wrestle with medical appointments or personal family matters, it's always the front desk secretary that's fielding those phone calls and confidently assuring them that it is okay and how can we help you. And Roxanne did that so well. A veteran with years of experience at Jefferson schools, and then as the secretary for the illustrious Tippy Foley at the ESC preschool when it was housed at the board office, Roxanne leaves behind a rich mosaic of memories for students and children that she created by always treating them with the utmost kindness and eagerness to ensure that no matter what happened before school, they were here now, they were safe, and they were loved. So thank you to Roxanne.
Mrs. Shields, your work's not done.
So I actually have props and a test. Very short too. Can you hear me okay? So you can see over them. So tonight I want to talk a little bit about fun facts and virtues. My family's probably laughing at, because the fun fact is I love fun facts. And another fun fact about me is that I absolutely love the movie The Wizard of Oz. So school, here's your test. Told me not to do it, but in The Wizard of Oz, what are the main virtues that are so critical and would be critical in schools? No?
Courage.
Wisdom, and heart, love, and compassion. So the three people I get to talk about tonight, they epitomize these virtues every day in their long, beautiful legacy here in Perry. So Pam Shaw was not able to be here today. She was an education associate. She's been in Perry for 30 years. She has had an esteemed career here, starting as a bus driver and then moving into the high school where she supports kids who probably don't really want support but need a lot of support. And I don't think I'm being dramatic when I say that it was because of her that probably hundreds of kids were able to graduate and get done what they needed to do. Pam, truly known for her straight shooting, no nonsense, tell you the way it's gonna be attitude, but it was tempered with kindness and consistency and fairness. I am not gonna go, because she wouldn't want me to go talking about all the great and wonderful things she did, and we all know. She's irreplaceable, amazing attribute to Perry. And she has some big shoes to fill. But so fun facts about Pam. She is most looking forward to mowing her grass. She does not want to leave the 5 miles of Perry because she wants to stay close to her family. She leaves a beautiful legacy of family here, daughter and grandchildren and children. And she leaves also a legacy of an avid reading model. She loves to read. I can't imagine how many books she's read over the time. So for her, we do leave our testimonials with her. Our hearts, glasses, because she shines so bright, and a badge. She will be greatly missed, and some big shoes she wears. So Pam Schlatt. The next person I want to. The next person I want to honor tonight is Liz Shaw. Liz Shaw is also an education associate. She's been in the district 23 years. She had a lot of different roles and responsibilities within the district. She is best known for her giving spirit. Oh my gosh, she always knew what kids needed and found ways to get it. I know that she actually sewed things for kids, made sure that they had coats. She's extremely soft-spoken, but she had a command of students who could be quite challenging. She developed such strong rapport with her students and the staff. She could make even the snarliest of kiddos do something that they didn't want to do just by giving them kind of that look. I called her the kid whisperer. So fun facts about Liz is that she is going to be spending half her time here and half her time in Bradford, Ohio. She has a tremendous legacy with us, but she actually has 9 children, 31 grandchildren, and 2 great-grandchildren. What an incredible legacy is that? We wish her well. She has been gone since December, and I've missed her dearly. I loved our time together, and we wish her all the best as well. So my third amazing human is Sandy Lazuski. I'm gonna have come on up with me. So come on up, Sandy. All right. So. Say goodbye. All of us. So Sandy's been in the district 23 years as well. She's had a lot of experience in the district. She has done a lot of jobs all the way from the littles and now to the bigs out in the community. Sandy is really known for her work ethic, her hard work and her organization and getting in there and really helping making sure that everyone is successful, student and staff. She's already, I think they want her to come work at Unique like me in any area that she is, and her teachers will say that she keeps me on schedule. A fun fact about Sandy, I'm so excited for her, is that she does want to travel, and she has a boat here in Lake Erie and a boat on the Gulf of Mexico. She got her fishing license to start fishing, and wants to catch some really big walleye. Yeah, really big. Yeah. And
See out there, Bill.
And it was the wizard that said it is, and I hope I don't mess up. Your heart is not judged by your love, but the amount of love that you're loved by others. And I kind of messed that up, but I want you to know that we are giving you a medal of courage. We thank you. We love you all from the deepest areas of our hearts, and wish you all the best. So along with that, you are officially, as of, well, not for another week, right? 9 more days. This stuff in here was pretty seedy. One of them made me blush.
And from all of us, please accept a small token, and we look forward to your and Bill's fish fry.
Thank you. Thank you. I just like to say thank you, Nick Square, for hiring me back in 1993 to drive transportation. And he always told us that we are walking billboards for Perry schools. And I have never forgotten that. So I always made sure when I had my Perry shirt on or driving a van or the bus, I presented Perry schools to the best of my ability. And then I got moved into working with special needs students.
did kindergarten, first grade, then moved up to middle school, then up to high school. And I have to say, I have worked in a lot of these teachers' classrooms, and it's just amazing how much they put up with our students. They don't like to always sit and pay attention, and always made it interesting. Mr. Rosati, I loved your class this year. I was so bummed I had to leave early. And it was a great experience, and just keep working great with those special needs kids, because they just love you to no end. And I got a great hug today while waiting for the school bus today, so it was just like heart melting. Thank you very much.
We're up there.
Evening. So the transportation department is saying, moving on to 3 of our members. We are losing Tammy Clough, which is an aide, and Connie Chapman, which is one of our drivers. They're not here this evening, but I would like to at least recognize the thing you need to understand about those 2 individuals. At this point, I drive a lot, but not for them. They show up, they are dedicated to Perry, they are dedicated to their kids. They actually, if they take a day off, they are more worried about the kids than they are about them and enjoying their day off. And it's just a blessing to see the dedication that they have to a community that they've grown up in and lived in and have enjoyed. So I want a special thank you to those 2 young ladies, and welcome to them. And then we say adieu to Linda Kirsch. And just to give you an idea, I started taking notes, and every one of them was a cliche. And if you know Linda personally, nothing about a cliche matches Linda. I showed up first day of work, and the first thing out of her mouth is basically, I'm mean, I'm cranky, and you're gonna hate driving 40 miles to get to work every day. What I soon found out was she was lying through her teeth. She just didn't recognize it, because she's got a heart that is just Perry gold. And she lets on this big facade that she's this mean person, but deep down, she knows everything about everything. You ask her when phone number comes in, she's like, oh, that's so-and-so calling from so-and-so. Doesn't matter what it is or where she's at. And I think the best way to describe Linda is, in transportation, we always feel like we're on an island. And she's been here a little over 20 years. In transportation world, that's 40 years. So appreciate that she spent 40 years in transportation, because every day counts for 2. But she's the bridge to everyone in our district. She has bridged the gap between the athletic department, the buildings, the schools, the secretaries, the administration, the superintendent, the treasurer. She knows a little bit about everything. She understood a little bit about everything. And she was, matter of fact, informing me that she was the boss and I was just here to do what she wanted. So I listened well, I did what she wanted. So then it became time for her to inform me that she was going to retire, which devastated me. Not that much, because she needed to move on, she was ready. But what I saw in her was the ability to bring on the next replacement of Amy, who's now in our office. But she didn't just bring her on, she trained her, she taught her, she gave her the skill that she had developed over 20 years, not because she wanted Amy to be successful, as much as she wanted to make sure that Perry schools did not miss a beat, that we were able to move forward into the next generation of the next students and the next kids, and make sure that everyone is there where they need to be, when they need to be. So I'm grateful to you, Linda, for doing that for our department, our district, and Amy. So at this point, I could be here for hours telling stories about how great Linda is. But everybody knows Linda, everybody recognizes that she is just a great person with a great heart. So understand this, Linda. I know that when I came in, you were like an M&M. You were this hard shell on the outside, and you were just a little bit of chocolate and soft on the inside, that your heart was bigger than you cared to admit to, and everybody loves you for it. So thank you.
Damn, I wasn't gonna cry, but you got a damn tough.
What I'm here for.
In high school.
Congratulations, my dear. Thank you. Yeah, take care. We'll see you soon, right?
Well, it's been an honor. I was glad that I was able to help all of the wonderful Perry drivers get the kids back and forth to school. And that I was able to help all of the teachers, administrators, anybody that needed a bus to go anywhere. So just, thank you. And it's been fun, and I've been retired since February, and it's wonderful.
That concludes our spotlight on.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson, and everyone. Congratulations to all of you, and wish you the best in your next. Yeah, so we move on in our agenda here, and if you would like, you are welcome to leave. I'm just gonna forewarn you. This is about 28 pages of board meeting that we have in front of us, so if you'd like to stay, you can. If you'd like to exit now, you can. Take a break. Yeah. You want to take a break? No. Yeah, okay, get more phone. Yeah, recess, everyone. No. Okay. Committee reports. Anyone? No? Okay, administrative updates, Dr. Thompson, anything?
Just look forward to seeing y'all at commencement. The music starts at 2:30, the march begins.
What time are we to be there?
Chips and snacks start at 1:30?
Sure, 1:45.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. And
2:15.
2:15?
And any special arrangements, we're good.
Yeah, we're good, okay. Okay, good, yes. Okay. Any public participation, Gina?
Public, nobody? Does anyone here have anything to
Got her
say?
talking. We're good, okay. Okay, we are on to board president's report. The board is asked to approve the contract of the administrator listed as recommended by the board president. Yeah, I have a motion to move. A second, okay. Thank you. Any discussion? Questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Lighting,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Yes. Mrs. Truster.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yes. Mrs. Foley.
Yes. Okay. Consent agenda. Do I have a motion to approve A through F?
Yes. So moved.
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mr. Roberts. Yes. Mrs. Truster.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yes. Mrs. Foley.
Yes.
Mr. Lighting.
Yes.
Dr. Thompson, superintendent's report.
Okay. Under A, personnel approval of non-renewal, the board is asked to approve the non-renewal of the individual listed for the position noted as recommended by the local superintendent, assistant superintendent, and building principals. B, personnel approval of reduction in awards exempt. The board is asked to suspend the grant contract noted made necessary by a lack of grant funding as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. Under C, personnel approval of new contract, the board is asked to approve the new contracts for the employee listed as recommended by the local superintendent. And D, approval of contract, the board is asked to issue new contracts for the employees listed as recommended by the local superintendent. E, personnel approval of appointment, the board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the position indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent. F, approval of compensation, the board is asked to provide compensation in the amount of $2,500 to Lisa Shield for additional responsibilities during the 2022-23 school year relative to the implementation of the preschool program. Under G, personnel acceptance of retirement, the board is asked to accept the retirement of the individual noted as recommended by the local superintendent. Under H, personnel acceptance of resignation, the board is asked to accept the resignation of the individuals noted as recommended by the local superintendent. I, personnel approval of appointment ESY. The board is asked to approve the employee below for the extended school year position and rate of pay noted as recommended by the local superintendent and director of special education. J, personnel approval appointment summer stretch. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the 21st Century CDC grant summer stretch positions and rate of pay indicated as recommended by principals, superintendent, and superintendent. Funds for these positions will be paid out of the federal grant funds awarded to the district as indicated and verified through a timesheet for the date indicated below. K, personnel approval of appointment 2023-24 supplemental committee 1. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed below for the supplemental committee position indicated for the 2023-24 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. L, personnel approval appointment 2023-24 supplemental committee 2. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individual listed below for the supplemental committee position indicated for the 2023-24 school year as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. M, personnel approval appointment non-athletic supplementals. The board is asked to approve the individuals listed for the non-athletic supplemental noted as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. And personnel approval appointment athletic supplementals. The board is asked to approve the employment of the individuals listed for the summer and 2023-24 athletic supplemental positions and rate of pay indicated pending successful completion of required employment paperwork, certification, training, and background check as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. O, personnel approval appointment athletic volunteer. Board is asked to approve the individual listed as a volunteer for the 2023-24 sport noted pending successful completion of background check and certification as recommended by the local superintendent and athletic director. P, personnel approval appointment band camp volunteer. Board is asked to approve the individual listed as a band camp volunteer for the 2023-24 pending successful completion of background check as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. Q, personnel approval appointment substitute. The board is asked to approve the individuals noted for the 2022-23 daily substitute positions listed as recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent. R, personnel approval appointment student worker. Board is asked to approve the employment of the student listed for the summer 2023 position and rate of pay period as recommended by the local superintendent and director of information technology. S, personnel approval appointment corrective action. The board is asked to approve the corrective action noted below, previously approved at the February 21st, 2023 meeting as recommended by the local superintendent. P, personnel approval of reemployment administrator. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices and or contractual salary adjustments for the 2023-24 school year to the following administrative staff members as recommended by the local superintendent. Under U, personnel approval of reemployment certificated license 1. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices, contracts for the 2023-24 school year to the following certificated licensed staff members as recommended by the local superintendent. Under V, personnel approval of reemployment certificated license 2. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue a salary notice for the 2023-24 school year to the following certificated licensed staff member as recommended by the local superintendent. W, personnel approval of reemployment certificated license new continuing contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue a new continuing contract for the 2023-24 school year to the certificated licensed staff member listed as recommended by the local superintendent. X, personnel approval of reemployment non-teaching continuing contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices for the 2023-24 school year to the following non-teaching staff members with continuing contracts as recommended by the local superintendent. Y, personnel approval of reemployment new teaching 1 2-year limited contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue limited contracts or salary notices for the 2023-24 school year to the following non-teaching staff members as recommended by the local superintendent. The personnel approval of reemployment exempt contract hourly. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue salary notices, contracts for the 2023-24 school year to the hourly exempt staff members listed as recommended by the local superintendent. AA personnel, approval of reemployment exempt contracts. The board is asked to authorize the chief financial officer to issue contracts or salary notices for the 2023-24 school year to the exempt staff members listed as recommended by the local superintendent. PD approval of revised AEB and administrative salary schedule. The board is asked to approve the updated administrative employee benefits and administrative salary schedule as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. CC, approval of out-of-country trips. The board is asked to approve a study abroad opportunity for 12 to 18 students to travel to London, Paris, and Spain, March 21st through 29th, 2024, as recommended by the local superintendent and building principal. There is no cost to the district for this trip, as Ms. Rodriguez and other adult chaperones will accompany the student. DD, approval of transportation PD. The board is asked to approve the transportation employee listed below to attend advanced training June 20th to June 22nd, 2023 at Theodore Roosevelt High School in Kent, as recommended by the local superintendent and director of transportation. Total cost for the lodging and training will be approximately $520. E, memorandum of agreement, OC head cook. The board is asked to approve the memorandum of agreement between the Perry Board of Education and OC Local 367 regarding adjustment to the food service head cook position as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. FF, memorandum of agreement, OC CDL reimbursement. The board is asked to approve the memorandum of agreement between the Perry Board of Education and OC Local 367 regarding transportation staff reimbursement for costs incurring for obtaining their CDLs as recommended by the local superintendent and chief financial officer. And this concludes my superintendent's report.
Thank you, Dr. Thompson. Do I have a motion to approve all of the items read excluding letters L and D?
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Trusker.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yes. Mrs. Foley.
Yes,
Mr. Lighting.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Yes.
thank you. Do you want me to just request a motion, Dr. Thompson? Are we good to move on? H.
Yes.
Okay, I'd like to ask if we have a motion to approve letters L and D. Letters L and D.
So moved.
Second.
Any questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Welch. Yes. Mrs. Foley.
Yes,
Mr. Lighting.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Abstain. Mr. Trusker.
Yes.
thank you. Can we jump to the addendum?
Yep.
Thank you. I'm gonna jump to the addendum for the board president's addendum portion. And I'm asking for a motion to approve the appointment of the employee noted in the new position listed as recommended by the board president.
So second.
Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley.
Yes,
Mr. Lighting.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Yes. Mr. Trusker.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yes.
thank you. And we don't have anything else that we would go over right now in the.
You want to do the consent?
The
please, too?
consent, yes, I would like to do that. I'm sorry, yes. Could I have a motion to approve letter A in the consent portion of the addendum?
Second.
Thank you. Any questions or discussion? Roll call, please.
I have a question on the books.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
What do we do with them?
So principals, I mean, with obsolete books, we put them out for kids or staff or community to take first. And then whatever is, we try to find a home for them
Okay,
before we just dispose of them.
okay, I was just making sure they went somewhere. There's so many of them.
Yeah, we kind of go through the process and try to, if somebody wants it first.
Thank you.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Lighting,
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Yes. Mr. Trusker.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yeah. Mrs. Foley.
Yes. All right, let's go back to the regular agenda. And, Mr. Gallant, I believe we have your
Okay.
chief financial officer.
Item A, approval of financial reports. The board asked to approve the financial reports of April 2023 as recommended by the chief financial officer. Item B, referral hiring bonus incentive. The board is asked to authorize the CFO to initiate a referral hiring bonus incentive effective June 1, 2023, as recommended by the chief financial officer. Item C, 5-year forecast. The board is asked to approve the 5-year forecast as presented by the chief financial officer. Item D, TDA. The board is asked to approve the expenditure amount of $39,000 to TDA for the high school welding lab renovation design services as recommended by the chief financial officer and director of maintenance operations. And this is paid for through the IWIP grant, the workforce grant. Approval of expenditures, curriculum associates. The board is asked to approve the expenditure to curriculum associates, $31,294 for iReady software and support for the 23-24 school year as recommended by chief financial officer and assistant superintendent. Item F, Lego education. The board is asked to approve the expenditure to Lego education in the amount of $17,002.50 for the purchase of Lego Spike Prime kits and virtual coaching for middle school STEM classes for the 23-24 school year. As recommended by the chief financial officer and assistant superintendent, the purchase will be funded through the EOEC and IWIP grant funds. Approval expenditure of Lincoln Electric. The board is asked to approve the expenditure for the Lincoln Electric Company in the amount of $49,286 for the purchase of welding boots for their Eastern Lake County Welding Lab at Perry High School for the 23-24 school year. As recommended by the local superintendent and superintendent, this purchase is to be funded from the IWIP grant funds. Please see attached quote for the purchase to get this. So this amount stayed under a grant, or I'm sorry, a bid limit. Purchase these things. Lincoln Electric is provider to get the booths. There's a lot of things we're going to put the design together in the TDA thing to look at what needs to be bid out. We also have called to legal counsel because being for education, well, we may get an exemption on the bid process. I want to make sure we have a legal opinion on that before we do that.
Okay.
Approval expenditure Air Gas USA. The board is asked to approve expenditure to Air Gas in the amount of $31,621 for the purchase of welding equipment needed for the Eastern Lake County Welding Lab at Perry High School for the 23-24 school year. As recommended by the local superintendent and assistant superintendent, purchase will be funded from Innovative Workforce Incentive Program grant funds. Please see attached quote for purchase details. Again, another component to this falls under the grant limitation, different vendor. Exceptional Kids Therapy, ESY, the board is asked to approve the agreement with Exceptional Kids Therapy Services for physical therapy services provided for identified students as needed for the 23-24 extended school year program. Maximum $700 is recommended by the local superintendent and director of special education. Under contracts and agreements for exceptional kids, the board is asked to approve an agreement with Exceptional Kids Therapy Services for physical therapy services to be provided for identified students as needed for the 23-24 school year, maximum of $35,812, as recommended by the local superintendent and director of special education. And so the first one was the extended school year. Second one is for the next school year. Approval of contracts and agreements. LEAF, the board is asked to renew in agreement with Lake Geauga Educational Assistance Foundation to provide financial aid advisory services for the 23-24 school year in the amount of $10,800 as recommended by the Perry High School principal and chief financial officer. Item L, approval of expenditure panorama. I've asked to pull this one up till we get some more details on this. Item M, contracts and agreements. The board is asked to approve an agreement with Lake County General Health District for nursing services for the 23-24 school year as recommended by the chief financial officer. Same services that we have this year, extended next year. I think there was about a $7,000 increase based upon salaries and benefits that were charged for those personnel. Contracts and agreements, LGCA Voice. The board is asked to approve a one-year agreement with Lake Geauga Computer Association for voice services as recommended by the chief financial officer and director of technology. This is the maintenance of our phone system. We had been kind of rolling over that on one-year agreements since kind of COVID. It automatically roll over. This time it's an active rollover for 1 year. We are going to be looking at the hardware equipment may not be covered by this company. In the future, we're gonna have to look for a different service provider. But that's, so this is for just the 1 year next year. Resource adoption, TCI, the board's asked to approve grades 5 to 8 social studies, resource adoption in the amount of $52,019.30 to Teachers Curriculum Institute as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer and Assistant Superintendent. This purchase will include a 6-year digital license for students and teachers. And those are the items I have for this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Lawrence. I have a motion. So my motion is to approve all excluding L,
Yes,
okay? There's some, still, I guess, some unanswered questions and things of that nature that we would like explained, moving forward. Okay, so any questions or discussion on any of the items?
yeah, I just want to make I sent you guys all the forecast, but just on the forecast, the change, the major change to the forecast is interest revenues have risen significantly. Last year, we were getting approximately a quarter of 1 point on our investments. Over the last 6 to 9 months, they have steadily increased. Our average yield now is over 3%, 3.5%. Our reinvestments are coming in at greater than 5%. And so what we're doing is we're trying to lock in these for a longer period of time. So we anticipate we get a spike like this. Historically, it's never stayed this high this long. We'll look at maintaining, as we kind of read the market, maintaining and spreading out the investments to be for 2, 3, 4 year period. And that'll keep, rather than being at 0.25%, will stay between 3.5% and 5% for the next 3 to 4 years, probably, on the investment side.
Good news.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did have a question. So with the Lake County Health District for the nurses, so the contract, so 2 nurses, correct? So LPN and RM, that's what we're looking at. And then what is the difference between us hiring direct and then outsourcing it through them? In terms of budget, like how does it affect?
I actually think that, and Jack, you probably handle it better than I could. We actually had 2 nurses on staff for a long period of time. It's really hard to find them and stay within a pay range. The health district, especially during COVID, was able to come out and attract people at a better market price than we were able to get people. So I think it was.
Is it also more fluid in terms of when there's a need versus? When
Yeah, they can adjust to our needs greater, and if somebody's out, they can fill in with subs a lot easier than we can.
And we don't actually pay the insurance, healthcare, or anything like that on those
Correct.
places.
I mean, it's built in, honestly, but
Again, we tried, when we had to expand our services, we went and worked close to the county. And 2 things happened. 1, we appreciated the relationship that happened. And 2, we got high quality employees that the one we have in elementary, we're very happy with her and her performance. And so that's why, that was why we stuck with them. And, actually, they approached the one nurse that we do employ and offered her a position to come over to the county. And she would continue to be with us, but she'd have been a county employee, and she chose not to take that offer and stay with us. When we were good either way. So.
and by the way, one of them is student specific, and one is individual.
Yeah, one is always going
Assigned
to
to a
be out
student.
because that's assigned based on an IP need. Yeah. The other is just sort of general public. Student public, yeah.
I just want to mention, well, you mentioned the ESY services, so extended school year, so that's
Yes.
just over the summer for the one
Yes.
PT kids therapy. And then the other one was for next school year, you said, exceptional kids therapy?
Yes.
For PT services,
Um,
and that's through, that's just through that provider, correct?
that's correct.
So we don't hire our own, and we don't have anyone with ESC providing that service.
Yeah, right now, so
Okay.
the cost associated to the OT, I'm sorry, PT,
PT,
is, we don't have a, we don't have a high need compared to OT. OT is significantly higher. But
So if we have to exceed that cost, we would just expand. So if we get more kids that are identified and we have a greater need.
and again, we are
we would
we are
increase.
looking at utilizing the county for some services as well.
Good. And then, I know you mentioned the IWIP grant for the welding supplies.
Yes,
So how, do we know the lifetime of that grant when it,
the lifetime of the grant expires on June 30th.
okay,
That's why we're trying to see what we can do to maximize the purchase of these things by June 30th and get the full grant exposure. Now, the available funds in the grant probably and most likely is not going to be sufficient to cover the cost of this lab. We'll find out more as the architects kind of dig in a little bit, look at what kind of ventilation system and everything else we have to have put in.
I think it's just important to recognize how much we rely on all the grants we have and how important it is that we continue to go for everything.
Yeah, and Jack said, we're kind of grant rich. We have a lot of grants.
We do.
And over time, we've been able to sustain them, so they become kind of taken for granted sometimes, not to.
No pun intended.
And, you know, this one is based on the timeline and the level of, the level of complexity of the project, because when you get welding bays, there's a lot of issues, for safety. And knowing the IWIP grants, coming to a close, I think in a board update, we did explain, you know, their worst case scenario, there is a risk of having to, you know, spend a couple $100,000 in general fund dollars to finish that if we can't find more grant dollars at the next fiscal period when, you know, after the binding budget things come out. Now, the governor keeps saying that where he's going to fund these kind of projects to get career exploration and the trades handled in schools. So we're going to try to hold him to that.
And so after the architect's design, and after we get the proposal of the grant, there'll be some, and this is Jim Smith area, as far as what has to be done to the electrical distribution system to deal with the ventilation and everything else. There will be a bid associated to that. We will have to seek some funding on that, and again, or come back and say, we're willing to do it out of capital projects with general fund or something, but we'll have a bulk of the components already purchased through the grant.
And what another piece that's exciting about that, and which has been consistent, is working with local institutions of higher ed, whether it be Lakeland, this is in conjunction with Lake Erie College that's involved in that. And I think building those bridges and making those connections, you know, really does pay off for our kids. I mean, for years, we've had profs from Lakeland come out, and which, you know, saves our kids that need to travel to take all their courses out of Lakeland if they're doing CCP and some of the things. So we continue to try to build those relationships and work in those partnerships to build that kind of transition into higher ed too. So
Benefits our kids into potential careers, and we know there's a shortage too of welders, so a win-win.
I have a question on the TCI resource adoption. Is that not, I'm sorry, is that not what we're using currently? Because
Is it a new curriculum?
it's a new curriculum or is it something?
I can't answer that.
Okay,
It is new. They're due for their every like 5 or 6 or 7 years, each department gets to examine the best options in curriculum. Social studies, it was their turn for the middle school.
okay.
Right, and then I didn't so it's better, sorry. I just got it.
That's okay.
bring it up.
We piloted 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th grade this school year.
Okay,
And it came back as probably the best resource out there. I mean, what you think of it as a textbook purchase?
Okay.
You know, nobody was really, well, they do for the textbooks, but.
it's mostly digital. So we have the K-5 licenses, that's just for 5th grade. We're not using this K-4 also, or are we purchasing licenses for, because on this, it says K-5 license.
So with the purchase, it is. So there's a K-5 component, and so our 5th grade teachers will have the entire K-5 package And then our sixth, seventh, and eighth graders have the entire access to the entire sixth, seventh, and eighth grade
Okay,
textbook plus the digital resources that are available. As a result of that.
but this is middle school exclusive at this,
Correct. And so in order to get 5 through 8.
You have to go.
We had to break it up.
okay,
There's been no discussion.
okay.
It is confusing.
Yeah.
Glad you asked that.
Yeah.
Okay, roll call, please.
Mrs. Foley,
Yes.
Mr. Laydick,
Yes.
I'm sorry, again, Mr. Roberts.
Yes.
Mr. Chester.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yes. And then I have an item on the addendum. agenda.
Right, that's board note. Yep.
Under contracts and agreements, the board is asked to approve the 23-24 Education Service Center of the Western Reserve Service Agreement addendum for student family support service liaison services as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer. The cost of the service is 100% covered by the Family and Community Liaison Grant to the ESC of Western Reserve. The district will not be both the services. Item B, express printing. The board is asked to approve the expenditure of $15,650 to express printing for the design and printing of the 23-24 district calendar as recommended by the Chief Financial Officer and Director of Communications. I know Al spent a lot of time trying to get competitive quotes, get it down over 15,000, but we finally crept over that amount. We got a number of quotes, a number of hard work with trying to get that place.
Community loves that calendar.
Yes.
Yeah, and again, we didn't want to, we actually had one that the amount per calendar was the same, but the quote would have been under 15,000, but it was less items, and we want to be sure everybody had. It wasn't under, it was less, but it provided less than the bid.
Yeah, Express has a higher.
Is it a lot less if it's not colored?
If it's not color.
Mhm.
Oh, they'll hang you.
Oh, I know. I was thinking we could provide colored pencils, we could create your own
Other your own.
coloring
Your
book.
own,
That'd be fun. Okay,
Yeah.
So those are the two items.
thank you, Mr. Lent. So do we have a motion to approve A and B?
Second.
And questions? And I do have a question. Just curious, what is letter A? What is the?
Mr. Chisholm, do you want to?
What is that? The liaison service, yes.
Oh, the
Family support liaison
I'm
service.
sorry, I thought you said letter A.
Letter.
So that's a social worker employed by the ESC, a very specific one that operates under that grant. She is probably the best social worker in Lake County. And so when we get into deep, deep weeds with families where we know we need somebody who can provide them with all sorts of wraparound services, they need food, they need clothes, they need transportation, they need gas, they need to connect with SSI and, signature for psychiatric evaluation, home visits, like we get our really at families, homeless displaced families that are gonna need all sorts of stuff. That's a person that we would reach out to and connect, and she'll then with that whole connection. So it's a grant that the ESC runs and they provide that as a service. We're limited in the number of families that we can connect, but it's a pretty powerful tool. So we can get all of those different components from different people and from different connections. But she'll just go and really provide the full wraparound service.
Did we have that this year? We did have it this year? Okay. And then we have Russell, he's our social worker
Well, yeah, we-
in-house that's on a daily basis.
Right.
Okay.
And so,
we have-
they work in tandem, they work hand in hand. And there's different reasons to use different people, but for the most part, it's a pretty great nurse service. So it's really just in addition to when there's more stuff that we need that exceed those services.
Did we call it something different? Because I just don't remember this title. Maybe that's what's throwing me for a loop. I just remember social worker, social service, or mental health support, maybe.
I think they rebranded that title because it fits them within the category that supports the services for the ESC.
Okay.
But it's a social worker is what it is.
Okay, I was just curious. Thank you very much for your explanation. Appreciate it. Okay, any other questions? Roll call, please.
Mr. Roberts. Yes. Mr. Trusker.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yes. Mrs. Foley.
Yes.
Mr. Laydick.
Yes.
Okay, moving on, number 10, unfinished business. Does anyone have anything? Okay, any new business? What was that?
Gina, these are really cute. You know, nice job with these. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yes, thank you very much.
What was I gonna write? What's that? Okay, maybe that,
Yeah, you were talking about commencement and we were thinking about,
Oh, we're
Todd
talking,
shaking hands.
yes, we were talking about changing things up. It's
Todd in front of the-
usually we have our and all 5 of us are there standing up, shaking hands, and the 4 kids have to go through the line and shake 5 people's hands. And maybe it would be impactful to have someone that they see on a day-to-day basis. To shake their hand as they exit Perry local schools and grab their diploma and celebrate the day. We just kind of talk about that through that around here.
So you feel okay about being on stage? Could Mr. Zwicky handle the
Yeah, if you guys want to be there shaking hands, more than welcome to continue, or whatever you guys are most comfortable with. I will set it up. Anyway.
Yeah, I think we're,
I
and
think
we're
we're good.
flexible too.
Yeah, I
Either
think
way.
it's good for the kids and good for all the work you guys put into it, so.
Okay.
So when we see them on stage, right?
Stage right.
Yeah, put us where we want.
Stage left. Yeah, you can put us wherever you want.
Yeah.
You can put us wherever you'd like.
Alright, and yeah, I'll put you on stage.
Okay. So we are moving on then to, there's no other new business? Okay. Correspondence and announcements?
You know,
Okay, have not recently received any communications for the board. The upcoming events. Commencement, which is exciting, is this Sunday at 2:30 p.m. The last day of classes for pre-K through 11 will be May 31st. I know our next board meeting is not until June 27th. If there's a need for any reason to do something sooner, I wouldn't be surprised if that may happen. I mean, I don't know, I'm just thinking it seems. We didn't do the 3rd. Why did we switch that one? Do we know?
Usually it's closing, we push it up to the end so we can get all our expenses.
Okay, I was trying to figure out why we pushed it to
Yeah,
the 4th Tuesday instead of the 3rd Tuesday. Because that's what that is.
Yep.
Okay,
the hiring deadline for getting out of contract is
so I tell
July 10th, so we usually, if we're hiring anybody that's going to resign from another district, we need to get that done. That meeting would allow it, so.
Gina, did anyone come in and sign up to speak?
No.
Thank you.
Surprising.
Okay, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So
Second.
Discussion?
No.
Roll call, please.
Mr. Laydick.
Yes.
Mr. Roberts. Yes. Mr. Trusker.
Yes.
Mr. Welch. Yeah. Mrs. Foley.
Yeah. And Dr. Thompson, if you can hold on a second.
Sure.
We're having our